Mercedes' newest update has been revealed ahead of the Belgian Grand Prix, and it shocked fans, as this upgrade was quite a surprise. Track photos show dramatically altered sidepods. Have they finally figured out how to enhance performance from their bodywork? And what more have they upgraded? And why right now? Will this be the big upgrade Mercedes needed to come back? Mercedes team manager Toto Wolff predicted a huge update for the W14 in Spa, and now photographs of the car's drastically altered sidepods have emerged. And it looks like Mercedes has not confined itself to merely adaptive circuit adjustments. Toto Wolff unveiled some new features on the W14 in the preview before this weekend. These have been keenly awaited since Silverstone, with these modifications, as Andrew Chauvelin said after Hungary, targeted exclusively for performance rather than to address the car's more basic faults. The W14 needs to find more stability. To do this, James Allison's engineers are focusing their efforts mostly on improving the rear of the W14. Allison, who returned as technical director, was the one who wanted to modify the mentality, relinquishing the aim to provide major packages, and instead focusing on understanding a few upgrades at a time. In Belgium, the cooling inlets of the belly have been altered in addition to eliminating the aerodynamic appendages that were positioned beneath the mirror before the entrance from the radiators. The W14 is now more rounded and traditional, with a little more noticeable excavation in the early portion. But that's not all. The sidepods themselves have been updated as well, and this could be the beginning of a big performance increase. The next sidepod iteration is intriguing since it appears to be inspired by Ferrari's initial prototype, which was abandoned during the Spanish Grand Prix, with a jagged appearance at the rear especially prominent. The last section of the W14 sides now features a more prominent internal downwash effect, with a double downwash effect in the side profile. Another feature, in addition to the one at the belly intake, has been installed. This innovation is positioned in the back, directing air to the top section of the underbody and the critical area between the diffuser and the inner shoulder of the rear tyre. The W14 will also get a redesigned floor, with revisions in the centre and rear sections. This new component specification is introduced alongside the redesigned sidepods, and it is no accident that it makes its premiere in Belgium. This lets Mercedes retrieve data just before the summer break. Changes have also been made to the rear wing, which incorporates principles seen on the wing of the Ferrari SF23 in Baku. Mercedes now has a low-load wing with a heavily loaded side section and a tray-shaped mainplane that is flat but not as severe as the one seen on Ferrari this season, or the one offered by Aston Martin. Mercedes stunned everyone on Thursday, before the Belgian Grand Prix, with a new Formula 1 improvement package focused on the W14 sidepods. The front of the W14 has also been modified as Mercedes continues to enhance their car and prepare for the W15 in 2024. Mercedes is seeking a blend of several car designs from rival teams, with the Red Bull RB19 being the biggest contribution, but with additional concepts in the mix, with the Monaco spec update resulting in the front suspension wishbones being tweaked. The expectations is that these modifications will not only increase performance now, but will also build the groundwork for the W15 of 2024. And Mercedes will keep focusing on performance updates for the W14 this year, said Andrew Chauvelin. According to Mercedes trackside engineering director Andrew Chauvelin, the team hopes to take a step that will get us back to regular pole positions and being able to challenge for wins. Since the new Formula 1 rules have been adopted in 2022, Mercedes has had vicious challenges with their car, the most apparent of which has been the bouncing. Trackside engineering director Andrew Chauvelin noted in the team's Hungarian Grand Prix debrief video that the crew is no longer as focused on problem fixing as it was previously, but instead can focus on performance. This has been done to lay a good foundation for the W15 in 2024. It is fair to say that with these regulations and the way the cars work, we've been very focused on fixing problems, the Briton said. It might be bouncing or a balance issue that you're trying to solve. But as we're making progress on that, the actual way that you develop a car is you're more looking for just performance, so you get less focused on a big list of things that you need to solve, and more just on where we can bring lap time. The focus for next year's car is that we make sure the key decisions give us a lot of scope for development. You can see this year just how much performance all the teams are bringing as they go through the year, and you need to be able to bring that performance. But as I said, we're a little less focused on solving the list of issues, and just looking at how we can make a good step in lap time. Hopefully, a step that's going to get us back to regular pole positions and being able to challenge for wins, Chauvelin concluded. What are your thoughts on the rather surprising updates for the W14? Will this set a precedent for the W15? And will this enable Mercedes to shock the competition at the Belgian Grand Prix? Let us know your predictions in the comments down below. This is, of course, if the Belgian Grand Prix will take place, because as of right now, the FIA are at a crossroads because of the amount of rain falling on the track this whole week. And George Russell said that the 2021 race day may be repeated, with little or no track running due to persistent worries about visibility. This has prompted FIA to seriously consider cancelling the race. The death of Dutch youngster Dilano van Hoff in a FRECA race at Spa earlier this month pushed safety in the weather to the forefront. Following the accident, the Grand Prix Drivers Association wrote to the FIA, requesting that the results of any investigations be made public, and inquiring as to what might be done to enhance safety at the site for both F1 and other categories. At the moment, we're in constant comms with the FIA following the tragic passing of Dilano in FRECA, said Mercedes driver Russell when asked about the GPDA's dialogue with the governing body. The two questions are, is Spa safe enough? And then it's the question of the conditions, and I think the fact is motorsport will always be dangerous when you're travelling at these speeds. If you were to put a ranking of risk of all the circuits for sure, Spa is one of the riskier circuits, along with Jeddah and along with Monaco for example, Suzuka to a degree. Then, when you get the combination of the weather, it's very challenging. It's the visibility, we just have no visibility whatsoever, and the way I describe it to try and give some perspective is driving down the motorway in pouring rain and turning your windscreen wipers off, and that's genuinely how it feels from the cockpit. So there are not really any short-term solutions. I personally think Spa is safe enough, but it's just we need to find a solution for the wet for visibility. Russell emphasised that the GPDA has not requested any further adjustments to the Eau Rouge configuration. We've spoken about it, and I think between everybody, we concluded that we don't think it needs it, he said. They've obviously made a lot of progress with the runoff, so that's probably the most important thing. Russell acknowledged that the weather may disrupt at least some of the 3 days of racing this weekend. I think, fortunately, the weather looks better on Sunday, he said, so I think Sunday will be going ahead. But following recent events, I think the FIA have to be bold with their decisions when it comes to safety, when it comes to visibility. We know what the situation was 2 years ago. We don't want it to be strung out as perhaps it was then. But as I said, we're going to need some bold decisions. We all want to race. Everybody wants to race. But when you're going down that straight at over 200 miles an hour and you can't see 50 meters in front of you, there will be huge incidents. So yeah, they've got a big responsibility this weekend. Asked if he thought cars could race in the sort of rain seen at Spa during Thursday's media activities, he said, "Well, I think 2 years ago, that was a quick decision to call the race off. I think for one single F1 car to drive around, the conditions are safe enough and suitable enough to drive, but it's when you've got 20 cars on track at once. Anybody from third position backwards cannot see. You're talking 20, 30 or 40 meters. And I felt like the incident that happened in FRECA, it was only really a matter of time that something like that happened. Drivers aren't going flat out in the straight because they can't see. Somebody gets rear-ended and then there's a car in the middle of the track. So obviously, to have a race cancelled is not perfect for anybody, but we don't want to see another huge incident as we've just seen." Russell emphasised that the drivers have a positive relationship with the FIA when it comes to safety issues. To be honest, I think in this role now, for 3 years or so, I think there's definitely more interaction between us collectively as drivers and the FIA, he said. And they're definitely wanting to hear our views, put our perspective forward from the cockpit, not only to try and improve F1, but its motorsport as a whole. I think that we've all got this incredible technology here, and talking about future AI technology that may help solve some of these tragic accidents that happen. But equally, it needs to be stuff that can filter down into lower formulas, which don't have all of the technology, the CCTV cameras to make these quick reactions to terrible incidents. So yeah, of course, as I said, it's always going to be dangerous, but we just need to keep on work in progress. He added, "The fact is, we're not going to find a solution for poor visibility for probably years to come. It's challenging, it's really not easy." What do you think? Will the drivers race this weekend, even if it rains? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for watching today's video and enjoy this weekend full of racing. We'll see you in the next one.